Hi, there is Hassan. How are you?
Hey there, Rashmi. How are
I'm
you?
good too. So here we are resorting to virtual platforms.
Yes, exactly.
So it's my pleasure to have Hassan as my co-expert today, and all we're going to discuss about is the lower face and enhancing the lower face. And I'm sure all of you have known Hassan. He's been an international speaker at every platform. We keep meeting at every country. And like I said, today we need to make good with virtual platforms. Hassan,
hmm
first question to you would be, you're from the Middle East. Oh yeah, I love those hearts. Keep coming, keep coming. So, so you're from the Middle East, and we know that you already have people who have heavy jaw, right? And then when we
That's
come
correct.
to you trying to anti-age a heavy jaw with jowls, with the jawline getting not so defined, further enhancing them if you were to only use, let's say, volumizers, is it very challenging? How do you do it? And I'll ask the second part of the question later. So please.
You're absolutely correct, Rashmi. People here from the Middle East, they're pretty much heavy set, especially once they reach a certain age group. We're talking about in their maybe late 40s to their 50s. They really become heavy set on the lower third. So what happens during that time? I mean, they would come in and they would want fillers to be done, or they would want any modality just to try to lift this area up, and it becomes very challenging, as you rightfully mentioned. So there are ways in which you can try to move around with it in a way that's non-surgical, but you also have to be as realistic as possible and tell them that there is the option of going for a surgical approach. From the non-surgical approaches that we tend to use to lift this area up, we can definitely use the fillers, and the way that they're injected has to be put in a certain way to provide that little lift. So one way of injecting, and there's multiple steps, is going to be injecting the lateral border. So there's a line of ligament that's right over here, so you inject the lateral side to provide a little bit of a lift. So that basically helps a little. And then you kind of look at the angle of the jaw. So you basically augment that area. Avoid the jawline itself because that's where the heavy set component is going to be. So the jowls you want to try to avoid. And then you would want to also inject just in the pre-jowl sulcus to provide a little bit of a definition. And then finally, if it's really heavy set, make sure that their chin is slightly, more pointed out, more and more round, and that basically provides a little bit of, you're playing with the shadow of the light, so it changes the shape of the face, and that really helps a lot in that sense. So that's basically what I would tend to do. But as like I said, you have to be very realistic and tell them that there is a surgical option for them, and this is something that you want to keep into consideration.
Fantastic.